y'all, it's your girl Courtney Elise. Welcome to my channel, Mommyhood and Entrepreneurship. Today is May 1st and we are starting anew. Y'all, we are starting anew. We are midway through the second quarter. Oh my gosh. We are midway through the second quarter of the year and so much has transpired. Life has not been easy. Business has not been easy. Just motherhood, y'all. It has not been easy. I wouldn't go so far as to say this year has not gotten off to a great start because I refuse to be my circumstance. Okay, I refuse. It has been a tricky start. It sure has. It has been a tricky start, but I just want to say, you all, it is totally fine. This is my reminder to you that no matter what you are going through, there's still a way to be consistent. I have gotten off of track with something, and sometimes you just have to, no matter how much you lose track of something, you just got to get back on the road. Okay, you just got to get back on there, and the more and more you get back on, the closer and closer you get. So everything is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be smooth. You're not going to have the best circumstances, the best outfit, the best situation, whatever it might be. But y'all, you totally have it completely in your ability to just keep going. And maybe that's not the real definition of consistent. Maybe that's the real definition of persistence. So we're going to switch that on around. This video is to give you the encouragement that you need, that for the rest of this first half of this year, you can do what it takes to be persistent so that eventually you can be consistent. So what am I, Courtney Elise, during the midst of my depression, during the midst of me just feeling just super down, what am I doing to allow myself to continue to be persistent? Because my whole entire mind has been in a huge fog and things have kept happening. And I'm saying have kept because I'm trying to practice leaving those things in the past so that I am not claiming this as my future. Life has been annoying, but it's okay. But I said that to say, y'all, I have been doing different things to keep myself on task as much as possible. You get stuck in your head, you get sad, you get frustrated with life, but there are certain things that I've done that I think could possibly help you. And one of the things is I take it one step at a time. I literally find one goal. Oprah calls it the next right move. And I find one goal. And if I have a lot of things on my plate, I'll write down everything that's on my mind. That's step number 2. Write down everything that's on your mind and get it out. Even if you have it in diagonals on a random sheet of paper and you have to organize your thoughts later, just go on and get it out and write it down so that you don't forget about it. I have written down everything. I write down things on random sheets of paper. Y'all, this is just completely, well, there's confidential stuff on there, so I can't really say that. But that is like a calendar, or it's supposed to be a calendar. It has a plastic covering on there, and I use a dry erase marker in order to make a list so that I can go through and write down those things and then put it on a sheet of paper. And then I organize it on a sheet of paper and I put it in my planner, and I organize in my planner and I put it in my Google Calendar, my Google Docs. And that's just what I've had to do because I have to get these things out of my head. Sometimes I just go straight to my calendar, but no matter what, I make sure that by the end of the day, everything I put on whatever that running list is for that day, I've transferred it into my calendar. Even if it doesn't make it to my Google Docs or into my Google Calendar, I live and thrive off of that calendar. So that's what I have to do. Also, y'all, the third thing is you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. As a business owner, as a mom, as a woman, as someone who works in the community service arena, as a volunteer. People want so much from you. And I have really had to learn during this time that you can only do what you can do with the amount of time that you can do it. Yes, there are ways that you can get more things done, but until you learn them, honey, just keep getting one thing done at a time, and just appreciate that even though you're not in the best space, or you may not be in the best space, or you may have a lot going on, that you got that particular task done. Then I want you to go to that handy dandy notebook as mentioned on Blue's Clues and go on and look and see what is the next thing that I can go on and get marked off. There's this list called urgent and important, urgent and not important but urgent, all that. There's a list. This has 4 things: urgent and important. Then down here is not urgent, not important. Then it's urgent but not important, and it's important but not urgent. And those 2 might be switched. I don't know. But if you make you a little list of that, you can just start marking stuff off as you need to. I didn't necessarily do it that way this particular time. This particular time, I made me a money list because I got a lot of things to pay and people to pay. And I have a lot of things to disperse. So I made a money list that corresponded with my task list. So I do something, I pay something, I send contracts. When that money comes in, I allot it to wherever the business needs it first, whether it's prints, whether it's whatever platform like Lightroom that I have to pay for, whatever, and then whatever to my personal expenses. Y'all, when I tell y'all, clients have been taking forever to send out payments. So it's been really, really hard to get everything taken care of first. So I am behind on my personal bills while trying to make sure that all of the business bills are taken care of. And then outside of the normal business bills, I also have to make sure that people are paid before I can even pay myself. So that has been the biggest challenge in the world. So that is what we are currently going through. So that has been one of the biggest challenges in the world, is having people not really taking the fact that, you know, I operate my business off the money that comes into my business. So if you take 3 weeks to make your payment, yeah, you'll have late payments, but I'm trying not to be that person to tag on late payments. But y'all, I might just have to. And especially with the tournament, people were supposed to be paying at this particular time so that they could get a discount, so I can make sure that prints got out quickly and so that I could pay the photographers. Y'all, they would sign their contracts, or they would inquire in time enough to be able to get the discount, but they wouldn't sign their contracts or pay until mad weeks later. And then whenever they finally pay, then they're like, okay, well, where are my prints? Girl, look at your contract to see how long it's supposed to take. And it has been this long, dragged out process for the past few weeks. I promise y'all, I am never, ever doing another organization type of thing where I can't have more control on the front end, because getting everybody's information on the back end, it just created a whole crap show. Okay, it created an entire crap show, and being paid on the back end created a crap show. And I'll talk about that possibly in another video. But the biggest thing that I had to realize is okay, some stuff is going to have to get pushed back in my personal life, and I'm just going to have to suffer the consequences for my personal life having to get this stuff pushed back, and just go on and take care of what's going on in the business so that it can all so I can just finish it. I really want to close that chapter completely, and I know the organizer is over it. But anyway, that has really had a lot to do with my mental health, just feeling like I had a lack of control over how I was systematizing my business. And I was already in a slow fall depression prior to that from the car accidents. So this whole entire dramatic thing, y'all, it just, from October until now, my life has just really, my mental health has been really bad, and it's affecting me as a business. So in that, in order to be able to keep going, you have to have some grace and some patience with yourself. Understand that what you're going through is normal, and understand that even though you have a business, you are not the business. You're not a brand. You are a human, and you have feelings and emotions, and you have to get through it. And that's why systems are so important, so that you don't have to suffer this the way that I'm suffering through this. And so I definitely want to get my systems on, but I feel like I'm running backwards. So I do have some goals coming up that I'm going to put in a different video for different things that I want to change coming up within my business, that will just make things a little easier, even if it means that I have to spend a little bit of money in order for it to happen. Things like adding in AI and things like that. But that brings me to my next tip. Find ways to make things be easier. Find ways. Let me repeat it for the people in the back. Let me repeat it for the latecomers who walked into the church 1 minute ago, 30 minutes late. Okay, I'll be that person a lot of times. But let me just go on and repeat it for them people who just stepped on into the show. You have. You and me. We got to do things that are going to make our lives easier. We have to do things that are going to make our lives easier. You have to do things that are going to make your lives easier. Add in as many different things as you possibly can in order to make things go a lot more smoothly. Because you taking the hard way to do everything is just going to make things worse. It's going to allow things to keep piling up on your list, and it's going to further you into whatever little funk that you're in right now. The next tip, let people know that you are not in a good space. Mentally, financially, emotionally. You don't necessarily have to ask for help, but it is great to ask for help, especially when you really need it. Sometimes it's even great to ask for it before you need it, but that takes a lot of maturity to figure out exactly what that is. But at minimum, if you just let people know you're not in a good space, they may be able to offer help that you didn't know you needed to ask for. So let people know that you're not in a good space. The next thing is watch videos and do research on whatever your problems are during that time. Because sometimes when you get into these mental spaces and it's hard to talk to people about whatever you have going on, you can literally go to people who address those on Google, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Now, everybody is not a guru. Everybody is not an expert. But they might have tips. Like, I am not a mental health expert. But I should be, because I done been through this stuff so much. But I still have some tips for things that might help you based on how they're helping me. Lastly, journal. Journal and journal. Get your thoughts out on paper. I had to write, November 13th, I started this beautiful little journal, y'all. Beautiful journal. And the very, very first journal in here was not really a journal. It was more so an intro to the journal. And I didn't write anything since then. I did in other notebooks and other journals, but not in here. But I really wanted to write in this one the day that I was feeling low to inspire myself, but I didn't have anything positive to write. Nothing positive to write. So since I couldn't get away from journaling that day, I put it in the middle of the book. I'm not going to show y'all what I wrote, but I put it in the middle of the book so that it wouldn't be the first journal in that book. And sometimes you just got to do that, because I don't want to see negativity in my beautiful journal. But that's a part of life, okay? It's a part of life, and a part of life is solving your problems too, because your problems are not going to last forever, but you got to figure out how to get through while those problems are happening. Well, that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all. Pray for me. I'm gonna pray for y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Send this to your folks. If you have some people who are struggling, if you yourself are struggling, if you know another young lady or young mom who could use this, go on and send them. I got a little celebration that I'm going to be doing in one of these videos coming up. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one. Ciao.